Hey everybody, welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host Ann, Disembodied Hands Quindy, and Disembodied Beard John, and I guess there's probably a current eco in here somewhere, right? Yes, it's Ogre Mage Day. I was, despite the fact, there was a stream today, Cody. Today's the last day though. No more streams. No more streams after today until the 5th of January. I know, right? Yeah, off till the 5th. Crowley's got it. And thanks for the resub. 70 months. You're almost to your sextuple sub-anniversary. The Ghosty Night got finished and replaced. Watch streak on the green. Ooh, 50 stream streak. Dang. Bob and Julie. I thought I was fans of you, but now I know you're fans of me too. Hi, Quindy. Oh, no ears. I'm so sad. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, that's right. It's Monday, isn't it? I keep thinking it's like Wednesday. But, oh well. It is what it is. Hey, Roger. So, I'm very disgruntled. I have to contact Reaper because my Ogre guy is missing a piece. And I almost didn't start him today because I was like so disgruntled when I realized it. After I spent an hour cleaning off all those tiny tendrils of print art thingies. Print thingies. Oh, you like the dragon video? Good, Kuro. Hold on, I have to tell Kuro thanks. One second. I have to find it. There it is. Oh no, Kiki, you've been exiled. Oh no, Daddy just totally exiled the Kiki. Totally exiled the Kiki from his room. David's home. His parents arrived today. There's Ghosty Night. Turning into ghosties. Being a ghosty guy. All finished. There. Blook. But anyway, so yeah, it is, stream ruined, thanks, Reaper. Yes, I know, I gotta text, I'll probably text Benita and ask her if she can toss one in. But yeah, so we're excited because, like, Hawaii. We're leaving for Hawaii in 3 days. 3 or 4? I don't know. We leave for Hawaii on Thursday. So it just hit. It just hit me this morning. I'm like, oh heck, I gotta move. So I was just downloading or trying to download or update the app that we use when we're in Hawaii. There's a great Hawaii app. If you ever go, Hawaii Revealed. I think they just call it Revealed now because they're expanding it to different cities and places. But if for Hawaii, it excels. It excels. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I assume it's like a disembodied hetero trophy or something, Pendrake. No idea. Don't really care. Just going to ask to have it sent to me. Alright, so cool. I was going to look up pictures of Ogre Mages. I'm pretty sure they're blue, but you know, I don't know what kind of blue they are, and what kind of blue we want to make them. So let's go to images, and let's look at our Ogre Mages. Oh boy, there's a yellow one. Nobody approves of that. Nobody approves of a yellow Ogre Mage, guys. Hey, Mrach! Okay, so Oni Mage, interesting, right? That's the Forgotten Realms. And that's more of a teal. But then we've got the more traditional, that's Legend of the Five Rings. There's a WoW D&D Monster Spotlight, so that one's more blue-gray. Yeah, I think I'm gonna... Yeah, D&D, okay. Now we're to the D&D proper ones. That guy's cool. That's an ArtStation one. So that's, again, more a bit of a muted blue. This is an Ogre Mage. They've always been different, Pendrake. Nope, they've been blue forever. And apparently even, like, Bellavloss, there's, like... Let's see here. Unless you're a Warcraft, you know, then it's different. But Ogre Mage, they're definitely been blue. Yeah, so a little bit muted, typically. Not super, not super blue. I'm going to actually do specifically D&D because I'm sick of seeing, sick of seeing WoW. Yeah, so then so Pathfinder, they're red in Pathfinder, Mirage. So there you go. Pathfinder has a red one. That explains it. But D&D, they're blue. Now, if this had been a yellow ogre, I would not have wanted to paint this figure. We're going to do it blue. Seriously. But it looks like more of a muted blue is kind of the way to go, so not a super bright blue. There's the RPG Locker one. So that's actually a mini, so that's actually, yeah, kind of almost a greenish color. Definitely terrible. Wow, those are not cool. This guy's neat. I like him. Notice how the orange fire grays out the skin. Like, it does go a little orangey because this is probably digital, but it grays the skin too. See that gray? Because these are complementary colors, and they're going to turn to gray. Yeah, blue, 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 blue. Collector Series Classic. 2 models. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely a more of a gray blue. All right, well, that's fine. And often paired with orange, it seems. Because complementary. All right. I can work with that. And Forgotten Realms actually calls it an Oni mage. So, and it is essentially an Oni. Okay, so then I want to look at the colors I've got. Unfortunately, I don't think I have a lot of blue grays from Bonita yet. I was thinking about using... Oh, actually, maybe. I was thinking of using 2.0 for this. Let me grab my options here and see what I got. Alright, those are... Right, okay. I might use that for a highlight anyway. Book. Alrighty, and these are greens, so they're not applicable. I have to whip out all of the new colors she sent. These are all, oh, those are blues. Nope, those are greens. Greens. I have a couple of, it's an icy violet. It's not really a blue. Oh no, I've got no 2.0 blues. I guess we're stuck. Oh wait, I lied. I have these two. So we can mix something. And I've got an icy violet. Interesting. Alrighty. Lots of greens. Nita's not quite to the blues yet. Yes, it is officially winter, although it's pretty warm and rainy where we are. We're having a warm and rainy start to winter here. Alright, so colors I would normally use if we were not worried about 2.0 would be stuff that's more like, where is my... No, that's too gray. Yeah, we might have to mix for this. Ooh, I might use Night Sky Indigo as a shader though. Why am I just like totally not? Like something like Templar Blue, Ashen Blue, that kind of thing. Those would be in the range that I might use. I might mix in a little Twilight. Oh, I have a little bit of... I have a 2.0 Twilight Blue. That's right, because that's one of the first ones I reformulated. So that's 2 gray. And I think I'm going to not use Templar. But I see some potential here with maybe doing a mix. Maybe a mix of those two. Let's figure it out and see if we can make a pretty color by mixing Glacier and... it's now called Twilight Shadows. It's essentially Twilight Blue. It shifted a little bit, so... No blackouts, Twisted Oma. I didn't even hear about anything about such a thing. All right. Look. I'm just going to pop those down into that box. I'm going to forget what I've tested and what I haven't tested. Believe me, if I'd hit a blackout, you would know about it. I would tell you. All right, so let's grab... Where is my night sky? There's my night sky. I do love night sky as a shadow, as a purpley shadow for skin, for blue skin. So I think we're going to use Glacier as our primary color. Glacier has gotten more intense. See, this is old Glacier versus new Glacier. You can see. And this is, again, the addition of more pigment that's taking it there. So it's still essentially the color. It's just a more intense version of the color. And actually, I think I'm just going to kill the old version because the new version kicks so much butt. Oh, San Francisco. Yeah. No more of these weak sauce colors, people. And I think I'm going to use Creamy Ivory as a highlighter because I have the new Creamy Ivory. Hey there, Matthew. So yeah, so we'll use several of the new MSP 2.0 with this guy, and we'll just our non-MSP 2.0 will be Night Sky and Brown Liner. I've been wanting to do blue skin for a while, so I'm super happy to be doing this. We could use a little Sea Dragon. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at. So let's zoom out and get our palette in focus here. So I'm going to get my brown liner just in case. As you can see, I zenith primed this guy. For bigger models in 28, I like to zenith. You guys know I prefer white primer when it comes down to actually painting 28mm models, but when it comes to the ogres and bigger, I do enjoy doing a zenith to get more dramatic effect. So this will be my guide as far as where my highlights and shadows are going to go. And we'll see if we can do a nice dramatic skin with him. We might go all the way down to, we might mix some Black Knight into the Twilight. Might use this Black Knight. The one with the real label on it. Oh, yeah, it is something. It is the holidays, isn't it? I was just looking up, I spent the morning, while I was eating breakfast, I was looking up running trails. And it turns out that, like, there's, like, 2 awesome running trails, like, right near our hotel in Maui. So I'll be able to get my steps in. I get my steps in. Might drag my husband along. He can walk as fast as I can run anyway. I'm actually going to drop a little bit of Black Knight into my brown liner just to coldify it a little. Change the color just a smidge. And I'll keep that around. And I need to get these guys all put away too. I totally need to redo my box. So much. So much. There. Alright. Need to get some stuff out of the way. Alrighty. So now we've got our night sky and our... I don't know, Twilight. The Twilight is actually, if I just use that for my shadows and go down, I might not need that. This is probably not necessary. Night Sky is. So, sorry Night Sky, I love you, but it is one of my favorite shaders for blues and blue grays. 100%. That's what Night Sky Indigo is. What the shadows are on this lady, on her skin. Speaking of which, I have that paint along. She's almost done, but she'll probably take one more video in January. So, alright, we'll use the new Twilight Shadows, i.e. Twilight Blue. And a little bit more than that. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a drop of my Glacier Blue into this so that it can kind of like come over and I want to shake it a little bit more. I put up my paint along poll, so any of you who are on my paint along level on my Patreon should go over and vote on what we're going to paint next. There are a couple of interesting ones in there. I know which one I would like to do, but part of my Patreon is that I think I'm just going to test this. Part of my Patreon thing is that you guys get to choose, so those of you who are at that level. So choosing a yellow off-white to highlight this with will shift this color a little toward green. It'll shift it warmer, which is typical for blues under sunlight. But it's also a softer, right? It's not really yellow. It's not like zenith white or zenith yellow. It's not as yellow as this. You can really see the difference there. So this is a little more brown, more softer. So it's also going to soften down that highlight, mute it out a little bit more. If I had wanted it to go more green in a pure kind of green way, I would have used zenith. And that's just a choice. It's just, nothing is right or wrong there. Just a choice. Along with the color choices you make and the ones you gravitate toward eventually become part of what, you know, defines your style. Whether you gravitate toward a lot of very saturated, punchy colors, or you gravitate toward more muted tones and the colors that you like to paint and that you really enjoy working with. So if I'm going to mute all of this, I'm probably going to want to also take a little bit of this and put it into that. So we'll mix that up. And I'm thinning these so they will not give us straight coverage out of the gate. I don't want high coverage out of the gate because I'm working with zenith. If I want to preserve, there, I'm going to just put a little bit of that in. It's going to mute it down a little bit. And we'll see if I like how this works. And I think I'm going to pop a little bit more white into that. Sunny on Thursday, Christmas miracle. Oh, I had a Christmas miracle happen yesterday. I had one of my dog club people, like the dog club people, struggle with technology. They always struggle with technology. They have for as long as I can remember. So I had started a mailing list for the dog club so that they could actually contact their members, our members, God forbid, and update them on stuff, like, you know, when our national event is going on and stuff like that. But they were trying to change the email, the default email, to a new person since she wanted to take over doing it. And they were struggling. And they were struggling so much that they eventually asked me to do it, which was kind of nonsensical because I gave this up a while ago and I was pretty sure I was no longer the owner. Like, I was not the owner of the mailing list anymore. So I couldn't really do anything about it. But so instead, I went online and I looked up the exact directions of what they needed to do. And I did not ever think that they would actually use these, but I'm like, here you go. Just in case, you know, the other lady has to do this because she was the one who had it before. Here's what she needs to do. And otherwise, you know, if you need it, I'll do a phone call with you, right? Lo and behold, the person grabbed the information and did it herself. And I was like, these people, I cannot tell you how hard they have it with technology. Like, they struggle so bad with it. And I was so proud of her because she's like, thanks to your exhaustive directions, I was able to do it myself. And I'm like, hallelujah, it's a Christmas miracle. It would be like if your parents managed to figure out something computer related themselves so that you did not have to use your time before the holidays fixing it for them. The average age of these folks is probably 50 to 70, like they're in that range, right? Like most of them are a little older than me, so I would say someone is like, most of them are like upper 50s to upper 60s is average age range of the people on the board anyway. There is one younger one, but she's not the one in charge of the technology stuff, and she's also not that great with it. Yeah, it's so rare, right? Seriously? Like, I mean, I've been in this club and I've been a part of running it for like, what, 15 years now? Like, this has never happened. Never. Well, okay, but not necessarily, Marach, because I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, I'm in my early 50s, and and when I was in grade school was when computers were first becoming, like the Apple IIc was out there in the grade school, right? So if you are older than that, like, yeah, sure, then maybe you were in high school when the Apple IIc came out, but you may not have actually started playing like computer games or even had a computer in college, if you even went to college, which some of these people may not have, right? So I feel like I'm kind of on that threshold age where, because it came out right when it did and where I was, like when I got to college then, when the internet was starting up, man, I'm dating myself, guys. Hey, kids, if you're watching this, there was a time without internet, and I lived through it. But, like, I had friends who built computers for fun, right? And so I got a little bit of tertiary knowledge from them. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I know, right, Quindy? Right, yeah. But yeah, so I think people who are like in their older 50s, like they missed that same window I had, which means they were already out of college when like my friends in college were messing around building their own machines and teaching me like DOS prompts, right? Things like that. And if I hadn't been a nerd, I wouldn't have been into that at all. So I wouldn't expect people in their 50s. Like, first adopters, sure. If you've got somebody who's really tech curious who's older, sure. But none of these people are. They're dog breeders. Like, not to say they're not dumb. Like, she needs a nurse. Like, she has a lot of knowledge about other things than I have, right? She can look at a freaking echocardiogram and tell you what's going on with it. I can't. But when it comes to computer stuff, she doesn't have to do that in her day-to-day life, right? So, yeah. So, but so I wouldn't assume that people in their 50s, I think that we're kind of that borderline decade where it was starting up, but if you weren't into it, you would be like, it's like, well, it's like any new technology. Like, like there are people who jump on it right away, the first adopter type people. And then there are people who are kind of nerdy, and so they maybe get into it like kind of tertiarily shortly thereafter. They at least know about it or they can navigate it on a basic level. But then there's the rest of everybody who's just like, oh, is that a thing? How does it pertain to me? So I can see it. Press the oh so handy button that turns the screen black for no reason. I know, Quinty, I know. See, my dad was definitely an early adopter. Like, we had a computer in our home earlier than most people did. Like, by the time I was in high school, we had a computer and I was playing computer games on it. The old gold box D&D games, of course, because I was a nerd. But I think we're a bit different there. So I'm going to try this Succession. This might be a little bit bright. Yeah, right, exactly, Twistoma, right. Yeah, you worked in tech for years, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, Twistoma. That's some history right there. Yeah, you were helping build websites when the web started. Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm going to actually dim this down, guys. My gut is telling me that it's too intense. When you look at a series of colors and you're like, these have to go together, that one that was just really bright a moment ago, like, that was too much. Like, my gut was saying that's really intense compared to these other colors, and I need them to work together. Right, exactly. But yeah, so I think there's quite a lot of people in their 50s who don't have much of a clue when it comes to like, and some of these programs are a bit annoying. Like, I mean, I had to go and actually like Google it, right? I had to actually Google, how do I do this, right? And then I had to go and Google, what does it mean? What does this mean, right? Because they're like, you have to verify your user. And I'm like, well, what does that even mean? So, yeah. Oh, hey, we can use a bigger brush to block things in because he's big. Where's my number 2? We can have fun with big brush. Big brush, big brush, big brush, big brush. But yeah, so anyway, that was my Christmas miracle. I was so happy that she did that because I'm so busy these last couple days just because David's parents are coming over trying to get so much done. I have to get a lot of my Patreon stuff, almost all of it out the door today. I have to shoot a video, I have to edit the video, I have to get it up today, and I've still got one more video I have to edit, but I've already shot it. And so it's like there's a lot of stress, and I haven't even started packing, and for me that's insane. Although I have started staging. So all right, let's see. I don't know that this is dark enough though. I'll just try to paint in a shadow under here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people falling for scams, right? Because they don't know, right? Yeah, they don't know what's normal or what's usual, so they are easy targets. All right, so let's put this blue on and see if it's too much. It might be too much. So I'm trying to kind of block this in. And even then, MSP covers too much. That words have never been said, right? But MSP is covering enough that it's making it difficult for me to see my zenith. Like, I typically like to see my zenith a little more. I'm going to get my Black Knight liner out here. Yeah, that's good, Marich. Good on you training your folks. My dad's pretty savvy about it. My mom just doesn't engage, so she lets Dad handle all the tech stuff. She wouldn't even be at risk just because she wouldn't engage. But yeah. Dude. All right. So now I wanted to get my cooler. That's Black Knight. So and then I kind of mixed a half and half here to see how that transitions. I still feel like this blue might be too bright. I don't know how blue we want our Ogre Mage. Oh, and now I'm seeing a little bit of an up and scrapey, uneven spot. This is the thing, there were so many 3D print artifacts that, yeah, maybe I do want to go with my smaller brush. There we go. There were so many 3D print artifacts, I know I'm going to keep running into them. We're going to go with this bright blue for a bit. And try this, and we can always tone this down if we have to. And I'm just going to take my, there we go. So I'm working over the zenith and I'm trying to preserve the pattern of the zenith. So the little darks and lights. So here, this is mostly dark with just a bit of light here. So let's say we put everything dark here. Then we grab just a little bit of our medium blue, because remember that this is supposed to be a little bit lighter. Just kind of wet blend it in there a little bit. So anyway, I'm super excited about Maui. I can't wait. Like, I cannot wait. No, I mean, it's obvious. It's often the other way around too. I mean, we were talking about AI the other day, but I mean, I'm really getting a lot out of my interactions with AI recently. There we go. So a little bit of that. Terrorfish complete. Awesome. What's the Mori song? There's the Mori song out there. So we're just kind of like working around here, trying to figure out how this looks, if we like it. Santa eel, yeah. Yeah. And I mean that happens like it's the nature, it's almost the nature of humans, right? It's just like when a new game system comes out and everybody's like, this is awesome, and then, a bunch of people find a way to break it, right? Because that's what they do. I think of it kind of like that. Like, this is great. Let's see how we can break it. How can we use it to take advantage of the system? So this is all dark. So I'm kind of blocking that in just with my Twilight Shadows and my Black Knight liner. I probably will need to pick up just a little bit of light with the brighter blue so that it's not completely in shadow. Maybe just at the edge, like that. Because I want these muscles to show up a little bit. So I want them to be related. So if I go all with the cold dark and I don't get any of that medium blue in there, it's really going to just drop. But if I get a little bit in there, it's enough. Yeah, I bet there's a lot of... I mean, gosh, you'd have to like index every invention and to see what the predominant result is. I don't have the time for that. That's not where I'm at in my life. And then there's also like there's a distinction between technologies and disruptive technologies, right? So like the internet was a disruptive technology. And I would say like the internet was mostly used for good until it was, and it got used for evil later. And then some people said it hadn't like created, enough good, that essentially because it enabled trolling and things like that, and people behaving badly because they weren't their real selves online, that it ended up being a net negative. But I don't know that I buy that. I mean, I remember the world without internet, and I think I like internet a lot better. Yeah, but universities were the first users of it seriously, so I don't find that it's very like Cold War like dependent as far as like what its initial purpose was. It may quickly have been repurposed for that once its usefulness became like evident. But I remember it being a university thing first. Maybe I'm wrong though. You could correct me on history because I didn't look it up recently. Oh, was it developed by turning for the military? Hindsight bias, yeah. That's true. So I'm bringing in that bright blue then after kind of accentuating my shadows with my Black Knight liner. So again, I'm trying to preserve the zenith. I want to get these really dramatic lights and darks on this model, and so I'm using the zenith, and I don't want to paint over it. I want to make sure that I'm blocking it in and keeping the zenith in mind with the colors that I'm using. Okay, thanks guys. Yeah, I didn't know it was military first. Of course, for me, in college at the time, I was told that, well, only universities have it. Well, then in that case, it's definitely, started out like used for, non-friendly purposes. I wouldn't say evil, but non-friendly purposes, and then became friendly. And then became non-friendly. And then became friendly. I think it's gone back and forth in the course of its life. So I'm just blocking in these lighter colors. This is actually, just looking at it as I get this torso blocked in, I am liking this color. It's not super bright. I think I muted that blue enough. I still want to have it be like decently blue, so I'm glad I like this. I'm glad it's turning out and not looking too garish. I still need to put my top highlight on, but right now I mostly want to make sure that I'm keeping my shadows. Using my Black Knight liner here to just kind of, again, reinforce the shadow bits. And my Black Knight liner is thinned down quite a bit, so. We've still got a lot of speckly primer in here, but that's okay. David has been stuck to the computer game for like several days now. Like all weekend and today, because once his parents come, he will get no computer gaming for like 3 days. So he's totally gone over the top. Yeah. Oh yeah, physically following. Yeah, that makes sense, Quindy. That is crazy. Tracing a call was actually, tracing the connection. The actual connection. It's pretty cool, actually. So yeah, the fact that my my Black Knight liner is somewhat thinned down means that I can blend it a little bit nicer. I want to keep these highlights a little rounded because of the roundness of the muscle, so I don't want to get flat at any point. Oh, nice, Gildan. David is playing a monk. He's playing Potu. And I am too, although I'm going a lot slower since I've had a lot to do. I did spend some time over the weekend playing with him, though. It's one of the things we did while we were dating, because we were long-distance relationship for a while. And I just hadn't played computer games with him for a while, and it's just something that we like to do together, so. I'm playing a warrior, actually. I'm playing a Titan. Titan Ascendancy Warrior. First time I've actually played the warrior class. I normally want a female character, but I decided this time I wanted a tanky character that wouldn't die easily, and I didn't care whether it was a guy or a girl, because they don't let you choose in Poe. Each character has its own like story and its own like it's a static character. But yeah, I am definitely durable, so I am appreciating that. I don't die. I'm definitely not dying. I think I've died twice, and that's it. Normally I would have died many, many times by now. But yeah, and David is playing a monk. He really likes monks. I really liked my monk the last time we played too. We played right when monk came out. Yeah, so he's playing as monk and he's doing like endgame content on it and stuff. He's just all maxed out. David just likes to grind and he has so much more time to play than I do because he isn't, working for him. He isn't self-employed. So it is what it is. My hands and arms and shoulders tend to hurt after I play computer games for more than an hour, hour and a half anyway, so that would limit me even if my profession didn't limit how much time I was willing to put into computer games. Oh, what are you playing, Gilded? What character? Oh, you're druiding? Are you a bear? Everybody is a bear. The bears look really cool, so I cannot blame anyone for bearing. Yeah, I started a sorceress, but it just felt like all the other, like, I always used to play a witch in the old Poe, and it's just you're so squishy, and I was just so sick of it. So I was like, no, I will not be squishy this time. Even if I can't play a cute girl, I am not going to be squishy this time. And actually, it was kind of cool. The warrior, it's kind of funny because the warrior storyline is actually that you've just come home, like you're actually from the village in Act 1. Like, your dad is, like, Renly, the first NPC you meet when you come into the game. So it's actually kind of a cool storyline to have the characters' voice lines be from that perspective. Like, he gets really upset when he sees that the village is all on fire. So I kind of appreciate that. I appreciate that they've actually got a bit more story in Poe 2. Alright, that's a little bit too harsh, I think. So there's a shadow here, but I don't want it to be like crazy dark. This is under a shadow, so this is under it's got light blocking it, so this one is darker. So you see how keeping those dark shadows, I'm painting over them with the Black Knight liner, so it's not a perfect black, but keeping it gives you that dramatic lighting effect that you're looking for, keeping those shadows, painting them in, even if you're not comfortable with it, even if you're like, there should be more light here, because we're used to painting everything with the same level of highlights, but there shouldn't be. There should be a shadow there. So this is how Zenith can be very useful, right? Yeah, I almost played a druid, but again, I was like, because we started playing on the day the game came out, there wasn't a whole lot out there for druid builds, and I like to use an established build, somebody else's build when I go. So that's fine. I'm all about slams and stuns with this character, and I like slams are very satisfying. So when you get to jump in the air and mash like an entire group of monsters and make giant like spikes fly out of the earth and stuff, I like that. That's very, very satisfying as a player. So yeah, I'm having fun with my leap slam and my rolling slam. But yeah, I just know that David always like goes on this huge bender of like video games right before his folks come, because he's so used to being able to play And he knows once they come, it's like all gonna be like family stuff, and he's no computer games unless he plays late at night. And then we're gonna go to Hawaii, and he won't have his computer game either. So, but that at least we're all like okay with, because Hawaii. So yeah, so then on this arm we're also gonna, you see that all that is black primer there. So we're gonna keep it dark. We're gonna grab our Twilight Shadows mixed with the Black Knight liner. I'm gonna paint that over the surface. Till we get to that transition phase right there. That's our situation. That's my situation, taking David's black t-shirts for work out of the laundry last night and seeing them already covered in Kiki hair. So we're going to put a little bit of this blue in here then. Just in the area, because I can see a little bit of my zenith through this. So I can see where the speckles are, where the white primer comes in, and I can get that blended in. So yeah, just a little suggestion of light there. It's mostly under there. I may bring up a tiny bit right here. Probably need to go back into this one. I can thin this paint a little bit more. But that blended pretty well. So yeah, you can see the shadow falling, see the shadow here. I need maybe a little bit more dark here. But this is how you work with Zenith if you want to preserve your lighting effect. I gotta bring in more dark up here, so I'm bringing in my Black Knight liner because this big shoulder pad is gonna bring a shadow down on this. Same here with this necklace. A little bit of the nook in here where the muscle comes in. I haven't even done my highest highlight. We'll try to pop that in a second. Alrighty. So now I'm going to grab my highlight with my white in it. And I probably need to even go up another notch, but Yeah, I think it's pretty good, Kodiak. I'm pretty happy with the way this is working out. So now I want to bring in my highest highlight right up next to the shadow. If you really want to make the light look strong, it's kind of like NMM. You want your bright highlight on the muscle there to be right next to the dark shadow above it. So I'm going to create a rounded highlight that's just a little brighter. Alrighty. And then another small little highlight right up near the top of this. And here I want to bring up a little bit more light. Yeah, I think I need a little bit more white in this light highlight. I'm going to make an even lighter off-white. Maybe I will use a little bit of zenith in there. Bring it up even lighter, warmer. A little tiny bit, a little bit of yellow. That's gonna, whoa, that's really greening it out. See, that's what zenith does. It warms it up like that. I don't know if that's gonna be good. Maybe though. We'll find out. We can try it. If not, I can always make a version that's more like this plus white. And that's probably going to be even a little bit too much, so I need another drop of water in there. And I want to switch to a smaller brush if I'm going to start putting on this, because now with the highlight, I've had to thin it down so much. It's so watery that if I try to use the big brush, it's just it won't work, because it's going to take so long to unload this brush, and I'm never going to be able to unload it to the point where I can be precise. So when you switch from blending to layering, I do not know, Penric. I do not know. Possibly. So I want to switch to a smaller brush so that I can unload it much easier, get a controlled brush stroke with no pooling much easier. Oh, yeah. The Barkathon has started. Hey, Barkathon, enough. Come here. Come here. We didn't ask for a Barkathon. I'm sure it was UPS. Enough, Kiki. I wouldn't mind if she just barked and then stopped barking the minute the person left. But she still barks because she's like, they might still be out there, and it's so sus. So sus, mama. Kiki's alarmed that it's so sus. So this green might actually work, just because we're only doing a tiny little bit of it at the top of the blue. And because we're only doing a tiny bit of it, it's not going to really color the surrounds. I guess that could be it, Twisted Oma. I still don't like the peck here. It needs work. I'm going to get in here and make this a little bit more shadowed. Just want to... Kiki is not a sheepdog. Kiri would have been a sheep, but Kiki has other instincts. She does not care about sheep. Or if she did see a sheep, she would just want to chase it, because it moves. Therefore, it must be chaseable. Keeks, I said enough. Settle down now. Unless you want to get shut in here, and I know you don't. Yeah, the spectoral is just like giving me all loads of grief, but that's okay. We are just trying to make it work. Yeah, I know, right? I've lost track too. I totally thought it was Wednesday today, Richard. I don't know what day it is. I'm gonna just like not know what day it is for the next 2 weeks. It's pretty much where my reality is. Alright. That's alright. So now we can keep on with our green. Yeah, sorry you haven't been feeling well, Richard. That sucks. So I've decided to do something a little different with my author newsletter now. I decided to kind of slowly just probably talk about like the different characters and what they're doing, because like for North of the Wind, it's like 6 years in the future. So I sent out my newsletter for December last night, and I kind of ran down like where the characters are 5 years later. You know, like Ashen Status's little boy has had his 5th birthday, and you know, baby Etta isn't a baby anymore. She's 7, and Tor is, you know, almost 17. So I think I'm gonna kind of do a like every newsletter until North of the Wind comes out. I'm kind of do a little character focus kind of thing, like where are the characters, where their heads at, like at the time this book starts. No. No, no, you get the book. The book is set 6 years later. That's why I had to write Rite of Winter and Three Favors, is because I realized I needed to have some background on what had happened to Sola and Sadis and Ash and some of the other characters in that time, so... You're gonna not. You think you're never gonna like Will, Richard? You know what, though, Richard? And this is awesome, because I had hoped that Will would be kind of a polarizing character, and he totally is. You say good luck, but other people are just like can't wait to see what's happened to Will. Like want more Will. Seriously. So that's really funny. I love it. And to be Will is one of the characters that, like, one of my inspirations for him was really one of my most unlikable cousins. Or at least when he was younger, he was very unlikable. Like he never was interested in doing what anybody else like wanted to do. He never really liked anybody. He was always kind of rude. If he wanted you to go away, you knew it. Like, so that's really funny. I love it. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Will's got his own. He goes to the beat of his own drummer. And I mean, it should be evident, and I'll talk about this more in a future newsletter as well for those of you who are subscribed to my author newsletter. But Will really does channel more of the Bear King lineage than a lot of the other grandkids and descendants. So, I mean, he's a fighter. He's more traditional. If he were a Bear King, he would be more of a traditional Bear King as opposed to Ash, who's not. Alright, so I'm just trying to straighten this up by like accentuating some of my musculature and then, glazing over some of the rest of it. I want it to be not as strong. But I still want that. I still want the shadow and the striations in this muscle to be there. It's just like I want them a little less. Oh yeah. The plan eventually is to give, like, Will have his own book with one of the other characters. Like, that's the plan anyway. You probably weren't on the last couple days. You weren't on Saturday on my stream, were you, Richard? I was talking about how I've been working with the AI that my marketing mentor like designed, and it actually thinks I should completely pivot the book, like, and I kind of agree with this. Like, it was analyzing my ad results and it's like, this is what I think is happening, and essentially I'm just getting the wrong audience because I'm in YA, and it thinks that I had been starting to think that I would do better just totally kind of repackaging and going completely into just coming of age fantasy and not being YA anymore. And actually the AI totally thought that was the best move. So I think I'm going to try it. Because it thinks that YA is essentially making my ad targeting break. And it thinks my books, when I described my books and gave it my blurb and it actually thought my books were a better fit for a regular adult coming of age fantasy than they were for YA. So yeah, so I'm going to change my blurb, and I'm going to change my keywords, and I'm going to change my categories, and I'm going to and then I'm going to relaunch ads and see what happens. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I thought you'd find that interesting because I know you're a fan of the books, and I've been struggling to figure out, because at first we thought that that it was my first instinct was epic fairy tale adventure, but fairy tale is all romance now. Like, when you see fairy tale on fantasy, everybody thinks romance. So that was the first marketing gaffe. As I had to pivot away from that. But even then, like, a lot of my stuff is still like I haven't weeded all of the garden, if you know what I mean. Like, I have to go through and change everything. I need to take the age ranges off of my book. I need to, I need to essentially redo my entire Amazon listing for East of the Sun. And I'll get my my cover artists to redo the paperback cover so the new blurb is on it. Yeah, I remember people who did that Twisted Oma in Texas in the winter, and I was always like, winter is the time when you don't have to mow your lawn. Why would you? But But yeah, so we are pivoting away from YA, I think, and we're gonna see what we can do going for just coming of age fantasy in the adult sector. That's not what you guys think. But yes, in the non-YA sector. So I'm looking forward to that. Once I get back from Hawaii, I'll start that. I'll do it for January. And then we'll have a whole new kind of shtick that we're working for promotion. And we'll see if the ads start working a little better. Because the ads are definitely telling me that I'm not finding my audience. Like it's the people who do give the book a chance and who end up loving it. Those are the exceptions. So there is definitely something off with my targeting. I love experimenting, so this makes me happy. I was getting very frustrated that no matter what I did, all these different creatives and primary texts and it's dumb because my book has a really good rating. Thanks a lot to you guys. But even with strangers, it's got a very high rating and a lot of reviews now on book one, and so it's it should be selling better, so why isn't it? So I think we're going to try to do that. The thing that the AI pointed out, and actually this is something that Matt Holmes pointed out, my marketing mentor, pointed out too, is that some adults who are looking for coming of age fantasy aren't going to read YA. They're going to see the age range and they're going to assume it's not for them. And the other thing, when you're advertising to YA, and this is essentially a Facebook thing, but YA, you're technically targeting the parents. Kids don't have the money to buy your book, and they're not on Facebook anyway. And so you're targeting the older relatives, but it struggles to do that. And YA, so it's just not optimal, which makes a lot of sense to me. Whereas coming of age fantasy can be read by teenagers, or it can be read by adults, and there's no stigma about it. It's just a fantasy book. And when I wrote these books, that's what they were to me. I didn't write them to be YA. I wrote them the way I wanted to write them, and then I was well, I have young protagonists, and so everybody was telling me, well, you need to, probably need to put it down as YA there. And in any other genre, that would be the case. But in fantasy, coming of age fantasy, which is read by adults, has a very long and storied tradition. And it is fantasy, one could say. It's the core of epic fantasy, is the coming of age story. And so, yeah, it actually is, as far as marketing goes, it's two very different markets. So the genres may feel close to us because the same age ranges can read them and enjoy them, but marketing-wise, it's two very different sets of people. No, Pendrake, all my readers, not all my readers, I do know there are kids who read my books because I meet them at ReaperCon, or I've met them at ReaperCon, and I also put one of my books out in my local neighborhood little library. That's for YA and kids specifically. So I know there are kids reading it, but the majority of my readers are adults. The majority of my readers are adult women between the ages of 30 and 50. But it splits about 2/3 women, 1/3 men, though. So there's a significant amount of guys. Right. No, YA is... Well, it is a book genre, though. YA fiction is technically, it'd be contemporary, books for teens, right? It's definitely a genre. It's a genre indicator. The most important thing for me though is that as I'm trying to use these ads to find my readers, YA is not getting me to the people who would really love to read my book. So that's the whole goal of advertising, right? Is finding the people who really are looking for a book like mine and saying, "Oh, here it is," right? That's what the best case solution, that's what marketing is for. Sure, a lot of people use marketing to just cram things down your throat that you don't really want, but that's not really the goal with books. With books as an author, you're not trying to be a slimy salesman. You really are looking for the readers you know would love your book. And I think those readers are more likely to be in the for adults section of the bookstore than they are in the for kids section. So yeah, but I get what you mean, right? Like, yeah, YA seems like more of an adjective than a noun, is what you're saying, right? But then I shouldn't be writing YA fantasy. I should be writing adult coming of age fantasy. I don't know. Coming of age fantasy, though, for adults and for kids, is definitely a genre. And I do the best when I'm doing teen coming of age. Like, as far as teen and children's coming of age, those are my best categories. So I know that coming of age is my correct category as far as that goes. My correct genre. My books also have all the things that you find in a good coming of age book. But yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I thought you'd find this interesting because it's a mindset shift. And plus you just tend to find stuff about the books interesting. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, really what's going to show it is if I change all this stuff, essentially giving Facebook and Amazon an entirely different set of marketing parameters. And if things then start to change and my ads actually start breaking even or, God forbid, making money, then I'll know I have done the right thing, right? Like, I'm now finding, if I start finding more readers from this and, still maintain my high review rate, then awesome. That's the goal. The goal really is to have the ads break even every month. Like, that's the goal right now. Because with 4 books, it should be very, very, like, I should be able to do that. And I'm willing to play around. Because it can't get worse, so. I guess it can get worse, but I doubt it's going to get that much worse making a change like this. Because the other option, guys, considering that if I'm not making my ad money back, like, the other option is that I don't write any more Bear Kings, and we don't want that. So, because there comes a point when you're writing a series, like, there's always the possibility that that the market really doesn't want your books, like, doesn't want these books right now. So, I don't want to really stop writing Bear Kings. I wanted to go at least till South of the Stars, so, before I started really looking at this, but I am getting a little disheartened about the constant struggle to make the ads actually pay for themselves. So, we'll see. I will try this. I have no problem experimenting and seeing. You never know. If I had time to do it before Hawaii, I would. Not on the individual scale. You essentially can see, actually you do. You have frequency. Like, but frequency just shows you how often on average someone has seen your ad. Like, you get the number of impressions, and you get the frequency. So the ad was served, like, you never want it to get to, actually, you don't never want to get it to 2 overall. because you know most of the impressions, but it's never like per customer. You can't get that granular with it. So you kind of have to look at it and say, okay, most of these people, the vast majority of them, have only seen my ad once and scrolled right by it, so it's not showing them again, right? And then the people who stopped or interacted or liked the ad, they're seeing it more often. So I don't really have an indication though. And like sometimes people just pick up, I mean most often people just pick up the first book. They don't buy all the books. But I do have the data that say that my read-through rate from book 2 to 3 is like 96%. So if people finish West of the Moon, they pick up Rite of Winter, pretty much, is what it seems to say. So that's what part of what the AI was like figuring. It's like you have a huge read-through rate once people actually get into your series. So what you've got is a problem getting people into your series. So that's how this all came about. What's up, Bubs? Oh, do you have something under there? Is there something under there? Did you just push a ball under there? Does Mama have to rescue you? Yeah, I've sold far more Beast of the Sun than I've sold of anything else. And the other thing the AI was like is stop running promos on book 1 until we figure this out, which makes sense. Because otherwise I'm just like, essentially I'm killing my read-through numbers by like advertising a 99-cent book 1 to people, to the wrong people who will never actually read it. And that skews, you know, that skews my read-through numbers lower. And that's one of the metrics you want to use to determine if you should keep writing a series. Hold on, Bubba. Oh, did you get it? Good girl. She's like, Mama's not going to save me, so I guess I'll get the ball myself. Mama, you are so, so sad. So what do you guys think about the blue? Oh, a ball, huh? You just want to play. You're just a player. You're such a playful papa. No, we're not going to play this game. No, you got to get it. You got to get it yourself, sweetie. I'm almost done. You just got to give me a little more time. Bye, Crowley. Yeah, you gotta give me a little more time. Yeah, hi, Fuzz. Hi. Yeah, work. Mama's gotta get this done. I just want to get that little ab. I'm kind of liking the blue, though. I'm kind of liking this blue. And it looks like the shadow here looks really natural. Like it looks real. Yeah. Pathfinder is the red. Pathfinder Ogre Mages are red. But yeah, the red looks cool too. I just wanted more of a traditional D&D Ogre Mage. Ron will appreciate it. If you're working with thinner paint, you have to actually go over this, go over the paint of the area a couple times before you lose the speckly from the primer. Anyway, the goal is really to just get more people reading Bear Kings so I can keep writing it. Because although I do write for love, I also don't, you know, I'm not getting any younger, and I don't want to waste a bunch of time if it's a series that a lot of people don't like. So we'll definitely do a few more books, and then we'll see. But it'd be nice if I can actually, you know, make the ads at least pay for themselves in that time. That will keep me going. I deliver them at ReaperCon. I'll keep a couple. Like, if I really like one, I'm keeping it. Ron doesn't get it trash. I don't have any deal with Reaper about this, by the way. This is just something I do out of my own goodness of my own heart, is give the models to Ron. That was me giving Reaper the models I painted was not part of our initial agreement, so it's something that I choose to do rather than that I have to do. So that's nice because it means that I can keep a few models that I think I really like. But yeah, I just save them up and bring them to ReaperCon because It's just easier that way, and don't have to pay to ship them, and don't have to worry about breakage or them getting lost or anything. So this makes more sense to me. Just accentuating this dark shadow up here under the shoulder pad. All right. Oh, Lord. Kinda Trashorama. I find the placement of the cases in the game store to be less than optimal. Like, but it's not up to me. I actually was kind of disappointed that they were stuck back in that back hallway. Considering they used to have the whole gallery, you know, and the gallery was way cool. So actually seeing them just stuck back there kind of demotivated me to give Reaper more models. I hate to say that, but it's true. I mean, I still do because I'm painting them, so I may as well give them to Ron, but I don't know where they end up or what the curation process is, or if there even is one. But yeah, I just find that the new layout is not as good as the gallery was. The gallery was cool. I don't know why Reaper decided, probably it was just space limitations. That they didn't want to, like, they didn't have the space to give to a gallery. Like, the gallery did take up, like, a big chunk of good office space before, right? So. Alright, just getting the shadows in there. I'm going to do a card for this for sure, because I need to make sure I can match the color. Oh, Reaper moved buildings, Pendrake, so it's a whole new building. So when they built it out, there was not space for a gallery like there was in the old one. Alright, let's see here. I need a card. Alrighty. And we're going to go from dark to light, so Black Knight. And Black Knight plus Twilight Shadows. Nope, there is not, Pendrake. The gallery was really Ed's passion project. And so, with no Ed, I suspect that that's why it didn't, like, Dave decided not to do it. I don't know whose all decision it was, but that's fine. I mean, it's their call as Reaper. If nobody ever really cared about the gallery and it didn't get much traffic or something, or they didn't have the room for it in the new building, then that's that. I mean, not my job. I can say I'm sad, I miss it, but it's Reaper's decision. Alright. And then this one, and I'm going to write down everything that I did to these. And then the highlight is really green. Alright, so there's our transitions. Well, I mean, they're there. There's definitely there's still miniature cases. You can still see painted models. I just don't know like how they're organized, if at all, Minrage, or what when. If I give them to Ron, do they actually get to the store, or do they just go into storage, or what? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you still get pictures online, so that's where most people are going to be shopping, right? The vast majority. So this only affects people who visit Reaper. So overall, it doesn't make that big of a difference, right, Mirage? So, because the number of people who actually visit Reaper is pretty small, considering compared to the online reach. Black Knight. And then this is BK plus Twilight. Twilight Shadows. This is pure Twilight Shadows. And then this is Glacier Blue. Two brushfuls of Twilight. And then this one is 2 Glacier, 1 Creamy, Ivory, 1 Zenith, 1 White. They have yes, they have displays in the new store. Yeah, it's just not as nice as the gallery though, Twistome one. There's not nearly as much room. And then this goes down here. Actually, that did not get any Zenith. Plus Zenith, plus White. But yeah, I mean that first gallery that Ed oversaw, like that was really an awesome like tribute to Reaper, right? But it took up a lot of room. So I mean, yes, it's nice that we still have the display cases and the minis and everything in the game store, which is where where they're most useful. But it also is like kind of stuffed in the back hallway by the bathrooms, right? All right, so here we are. Anyway, it is what it is, and you can still see minis when you go to Reaper. Alrighty, so there's our Ogre guy, and there is our card. So we've got everything we need. I'm pretty happy with this blue and how it looks. I think that's a very, very good Ogre Mage blue. So we will continue to work probably on the skin, and we're doing the inside out painting method this time, so we're going to work on all the skin before we get anything else figured out. Especially you want to do this if you are working with a colored skin tone like this. So when you make the skin an unconventional color, you have to treat that like your first color of your color scheme, and it has to influence everything else you do. If you try to ignore it like you would with a normal skin tone, which tends to be more neutral, then you're going to probably get into color trouble. So the fact that we've gone slightly muted with this limits us. We can't go with a super saturated colors on this model otherwise. Like we're going to have to mute everything at least a little bit. We can use small punches of saturated color on it, but we have to keep those very small. Glacier Blue, the new one, we're using 2.0. Glacier Blue and Twilight Blue, except Twilight Blue is now Twilight Shadows in 2.0. And then Black Knight Liner, which is like Death Knight Black, except better. There you go, Richard. Oh, sorry guys, big yawn. Alright, I have a lot to do today. I'm gonna miss you guys while I'm gone. So like this is a long time, 2 weeks. So y'all have to just go watch Patreon videos or like VODs or something. Quindy, thank you. I hope you have a lovely 2 weeks off as well. I'll be streaming on the 3rd hopefully with Quindy on my own channel when I come back. So actually, those of you who can come on Saturday the 3rd, on twitch.tv/paintingbig, I'll be on there. So I'll be on there first, and then on 5th we'll be back with this stream. And then I'm not gone pretty much. I probably will take a long weekend in February to visit my folks in Arizona, but other than that, I'm here till Adepticon, so no breaks. So we'll have a nice long run there. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely holiday. Yeah, I just want my non-alcoholic pina coladas in my book. That's all I want. I might put up some pictures on my Discord. We'll see. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and have a great New Year, too. I can't wait for 2026. I hope it's going to be amazing, and I'll talk to you all later. Much love, and bye.